Hi, Alex here from Reveloper.com, and in this video I am going to teach you how you can add in-app purchases into your iOS projects in Xcode9 and Swift4. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, we are going to create an Xcode project that we will test our in-app purchases and build up the whole process. We will add consumables, non-consumables, auto-renewables, purchases, in-app purchases, so you may get the whole idea about in-app purchases. This is an ultimate in-app purchase guide for iOS in Xcode9 and Swift4. So first thing you want to do is create an Xcode project. So open up Xcode and let's create a new project and name it. Let it be a single view application, and let's name it. And we will use Swift as our language, and we will not need core data or any other tests. Okay, let's click on next, and I will just drop it onto my desktop. No need to create Git repository for the purpose of this tutorial. So go ahead and click on create. And as you can see, our project with the bundle identifier has been created. Now you will hear a lot about these identifiers, these IDs. They are very, very important in our case because these IDs will link to iTunes Connect, and they are the IDs, yes, the identifiers to iTunes Connect. So in-app purchase can be purchased in your own app. So the first one is the bundle identifier, that in our case is com.reveloper.awesomeIAP. Okay, good stuff. Now we need to, let's say, create another app in our iTunes Connect dashboard. So go ahead and fire up your favorite browser. Let me just make that a little wider and go to iTunes Connect and go ahead and sign in. I have a lot of other client sign up emails, but I will just sign in with my very own. So first of all, just a little recap. I will go into detail in another video about best practices and how to avoid mistakes. But first of all, you need to have the agreements, tax and banking all set up, and you need to have a user, a sandbox tester for your testing purposes. But I will go through each and every these little steps in another video. For now, let's go ahead and click on My Apps, and let's create a new app, and it will be an iOS app. And you will see, let's go to bundle IDs, and you will see that we cannot see our bundle ID here anywhere, and that is because for some reason Xcode did not, let me just go here, and it says automatically manage signing, but Xcode did not do that for us. Furthermore, if we go to our developer.apple.com account and we will try to fetch, go to accounts and then go to certificates, identifiers and profile, and we will try to find our app ID. It doesn't exist, and I will show you how you can fix that in a minute. So let's just search for AwesomeIAP, and it's not there. Well, how to fix it is pretty simple, and of course it is mandatory for our tutorial. Let's go to capabilities and let's enable in-app purchases. So whatever you enable in capabilities will make that link with the Apple developer account. So let's find in-app purchases, click on the switch and make it on, and let's just wait for it, and it is indexing and it should be available. Now let's refresh our browser, and now let's just go ahead and awesome AP. And here it is. It has already been created. So be aware of this little glitch, or maybe it is not a glitch, maybe it's intentional, but be aware that you need to enable any capability to find your app ID or your bundle ID in the developer account. So let's go back to account and to iTunes Connect. Go to iTunes Connect. And now we are ready to create our app in iTunes Connect. So go ahead and click on New App. Choose iOS for the name. The primary language should be English. And now let's choose our bundle ID. Let me just find that. Here it is. Okay. I have a lot of bundle IDs, so it's good. Awesome IAP. The SKU number doesn't really matter, it's an internal thing. Okay, now finally click on Create. And you will be taken inside your app. So we can manage in-app purchases under the Features tab. So go ahead and click on that. And as you can see here, we have in-app purchases and we have the little plus sign, so go ahead and click on that. And we have consumables, non-consumables, auto-renewable subscriptions, and non-renewing subscriptions. So consumables are like fish food for a fishing app, so they are consumed by the user. Non-consumables, like a racetrack for a game, for what we will do, remove ads in-app purchase. Auto-renewable subscriptions are monthly subscriptions for an app offering a streaming service or any other thing that you want to put behind a gate and make people pay for it on a monthly or a quarterly or a weekly basis. It could be even a yearly basis. We will get to that in a minute. So, non-renewing subscriptions, 1 year subscription to a catalog of achieved articles. So this is basically the same as the auto-renewal subscription, but now it will not auto-renew. So users will be asked to renew their subscription again. So it's a kind of halfway non-renewing subscription. So first of all, let's create a consumable. Okay, let's go ahead and create it. And the reference name, let's say, here is the most important part, the product ID, and that should be written or constructed, better yet, with the bundle ID in mind. So go to General back and copy your bundle identifier, and let's go back to our browser and paste it in, and it should be with a dot, and let's say consumable 1. It doesn't really matter. You could add mega coin pack or any other thing. I just like to keep this kind of simple things because maybe I want to change to super mega or something like that, super mega coin pack. Okay, that is our product ID. Now let's scroll down. Of course, you can leave it to cleared for sale, and as for the pricing, we should have the first tier. And now let's just copy our reference name. The reference name is only for you to use inside iTunes Connect, so you may find it or do it whatever you want. Now the display name is a whole another thing, because this will be or could be displayed in your app while the users search, or when the users take a look at your shop, or even better, they search the App Store for your in-app purchase. So Mega coin pack, let's say get 100 coins in the game. Okay, now let's just scroll down. Of course, you can add more localizations if you want. This is a good thing because it will be, or it could be searchable in more countries and languages. Okay, App Store promotion. This is optional. I will go ahead and talk about in depth about this. This is how you can set up your in-app purchase to be searchable on the App Store. For now, we will just leave it as is. And finally, we need a screenshot and maybe a review note that we will not add. So I will just choose a simple screenshot for now, not too fancy, because this is just for tutorial purposes. And of course, you need to make sure that you are actually using a screenshot of your in-app purchase, let's say in the shop of your app. Finally, let's click on Save. Okay, let's go back to in-app purchases and let's see what we have created. Okay, we have a mega coin pack. It is a consumable. Here is our product ID, and as you can see, the status is ready to submit. Maybe if you missed something and you did save it, it would say missing metadata. Make sure you have completed all the setup here. Now let's go ahead and create another consumable. Let's say a super or something like that, super pack. Let's create it. And let's go back to Xcode. It's the same thing over again, but now consumable, we say consumable 2. That will be the product ID. Of course, this needs to be a unique identifier. Okay, set the price to tier 2. Let's say the coin pack name for the display name 2, and the description get, let's say 500 coins in the game. Good stuff. And we will skip the App Store promotion again. Of course, if it is optional, but I will teach you how to do that too. And now let's just choose a screenshot. Make sure it is the screenshot of your actual in-app purchase, or you could just change it later on at another time when you are ready with your app. And if you would want to, then you could add some review notes, but we will just skip that too. Okay, good stuff. Let's go back to in-app purchases, and now let's create a non-consumable. Non-consumables are like one-time purchases for a track in a game, or maybe a new hairstyle, or you name it, but it is a one-time purchase that users get access to indefinitely, so for the rest of the lifetime of the app. So let's hit on create, and I will just create a no ads in-app purchase, and let's just copy out our bundle ID and add it here. I'll name it no ads. What a surprise. And I will just hit the tier 1 and the display name no ads again. Remember, this could be anything, but make sure that the display name is a readable format for your users. And remove all ads from the game is our description. Make sure you actually do have ads, because if not, Apple will reject your app when you are submitting. And of course, here we go. Here we have our screenshot of our in-app purchase. Let's click on Save. Okay. And now that we have our non-consumable, let's create our first subscription. Oh, I just realized that awesome in-app purchases is my app name. So I just go back here to the App Store and just correct that. Awesome, in-app purchases. Click on save. So now that we have our consumables and a non-consumable, let's create an auto-renewable subscription. So go ahead and click on the plus sign and select auto-renewable subscription. Let's click on create, and I will create an auto-renewable subscription, a monthly, a quarterly, and a yearly one for accessing candy in our app. So I will just call this reference name, and I will not add monthly or quarterly or yearly in the reference name, because, and of course in the display name, because Apple doesn't allow that. So I will just type in here, let's say, okay, Mega Candies. Now the product ID should be, and let me just go back here into Xcode and let's copy that out and let's go back. And we haven't set up subscription groups yet. We will manage them just in a bit, but I will just add that group here. So redeveloper.awesomeiap. And I will just say here candies. This is the group that we are going to create, and dot, and I will just call in here subscription 1, and that's it. Let's click on create, and the group reference name is of course candies, as we have agreed earlier, and I will just create it now. Okay, let's wait for it, and here we have it. So the reference name is Mega Candies, and as you can see here is one of my subscription groups that I have created, that is candies, and the first one is Mega Candies, and we have some missing metadata, so let's go ahead and add all the other stuff that we need to set up, and the duration should be, well, 1 month. Okay, and we don't have a free trial for that. Of course, you may set it up if you would want that. And let's set a starting price for our subscription. Let's choose tier 1 for now, and let's click on next. And the subscription starting price will be created. Let's just wait for it because it needs to populate for all the currencies. Okay, here it is. Let's just scroll down here and finally click on create. And subscription price created. You can edit the price until it goes into effect, which makes sense. Let's click on OK. And now we will add a localization. Let's select English US. Of course, you may add as many localizations as you want. So subscription display name, Mega Candies is fine by me. And let's say for the descriptions, great, App Store promotion, optional, and we will talk about that later on. And I would just add the screenshot here as usual. Make sure it is the screenshot of your subscription. And let me just save this. Okay, now that it has been saved, you can see that the candies, the group is already valid, but we have some missing metadata in Mega Candies. Let's go ahead and add a localization for our candies group, not UK, sorry. Well, UK is fine. So candies, and app name display, use app name, that will be fine. And let's click on save, and it has been saved. And now you can see that our Mega Candies subscription is ready to submit. Okay, now let's create the 2 other auto-renewable subscriptions. As you can see, here is my auto-renewable subscription. So I would just click on the plus sign hit auto-renewable subscription, hit on create. And now the reference name should be product ID. Let's just copy this out and paste it in here and type in candies, the group name, and subscription 2. Okay, click on next, and we will choose now. We will not have to create a new group, and we can choose the candies group. Let's create it. So now let's choose our duration. It should be, let's say, 3 months. And then no free trial again. Set the starting price. Let's choose tier number 3. Click on next. Now let's wait for the currencies to be rendered out and created for our tier. Okay, let's just scroll down and click on create. And okay, now let's add our localization, English UK, and it should be ultimate candies, and get, let's say, 300 candies. Okay, because 300 candies is what you get through 3 months. And let's choose our screenshot and finally click on save. Okay, let's go back to candies, and as you can see, before we do that, it is already ready to submit because we have set up the candies member, the candies group, and we no longer need to add localization to it. So you can go back to candies, and of course we can now add a new subscription, and that will be super candies product ID. This will be a yearly subscription. Let's go back, candies and subscription free. Let's create that. And now let's choose a duration. Let it be 1 year, no free trial again. And let's add a starting price. Let's say this tier. Click on next. And let's wait for it. Okay, scroll down and click on create. And the subscription price was created. So now let's add localization. Okay, super candies for the display name is great. And now get 1200 candies. This will depend on your specific subscription, of course. And now let's add our screenshot. Okay, and finally click on save. Okay, let's go back to candies. And as you can see, we have our free auto-renewable subscriptions. Now, finally, let's create a non-renewing subscription. Let's go back to in-app purchases and click on the plus button, and now select the non-renewing subscription. Let's click on create. And this will be something like special candies, and the product ID. And now we need to create and thus give a proper product ID. We need to create a new group, because groups are important because of the way that users may upgrade or downgrade their subscriptions. So we will create a new group here, and I will just call that non-renewing candies. Okay, and this will be special, no, not the special, let's say and now let's select the price for it, and we'll select, let's say, tier 4, give it a display name, and let's say get 500 candies. Okay, this may be changed later on if we wish to. So let's add another screenshot. Don't forget to change these screenshots when you are ready with your app, and let's click on save. Okay, now let's plan price, no, not the price change. And that is it. It is cleared for sale. So let's take a look at it. Here we have all of our in-app purchases set up. Okay, now that is all you need to do to set up iTunes Connect with your in-app purchases. In the next video, I will show you how to install a very awesome GitHub repository, and that is called Swifty Store Kit, that will help us in managing our in-app purchases inside our code. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos of me working on these kind of projects, go ahead and click on the subscribe button down below. And as usual, I will see you in the next one.